It's a chaos, Welcome to your favorite show, The Discussion. I'm your host, Chelsea Okonji. The show is proudly sponsored by the Suya Spot, Canada's #1 African barbecue, serving and satisfying your Suya needs from multiple locations across the GTA, including Scarborough, Toronto, Woodbridge, Mississauga, and Manitoba. Listen, I've tried it myself. It's amazing. I always get jollof rice and beef suya. You can try something else, and you can also go to any of these locations. But if you're like me and you like to order online, you can also order through Uber Eats, DoorDash, or Skip the Dishes, which is like one of my personal favorites. For more information, make sure you check out www.thesuyaspot.com to get more information and go check out their food. It's actually really good. Now, our guest today is not only an advocate for women empowerment, she's also a speaker, also a paralegal, and now author of a brand new book, Child of an Immigrant. Please join me in welcoming Sandra Anin. All bells and whistles here for you. Yes. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
This is the first time of you coming, and hopefully this is not the last time.
No, it won't.
So first of all, let's just start off with, how are you?
You
look
good.
Amazing, by the way.
Thank you so much. I tried.
You're good. Now we're here to discuss your amazing book. Listen, if you haven't seen this or read this yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. How did this start? How did the journey?
Oh, the journey.
Start.
So this was something that it came into fruition, like I would say maybe about 6 years ago. There was a women's panel. There was a discussion for an African Music Week, which actually just passed.
Okay.
And it was a question that was posed to me like, hey, what do I see myself doing in the future? And I was like, I want to write a book. And it was just something I thought of for a while.
Yeah.
I did like some classes, some seminars to try and figure out how to get there, because I didn't know where to start. Like, how do I write a book?
Yeah, that's what everyone like. Honestly, everyone that wants to start is like, where do I even start from?
Exactly.
Well, you've known this for 6 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And, with the pandemic, I was just like, you know what, let me write. I seen a friend of mine had published her book. Okay. So I was just like, you know what, no, I have to contact her and get this going, because it's a pandemic. Yeah. We have so much time on our hands. And I was just like, I'm bored after the 9 to 5. So I was like, let me get this book going. So I contacted her publisher. And I got going. The publishing company is Daughter of the King Publishing. Oh. So I got into contact with her, and she's like, girl, write, send me your book, and let's get it published.
Wow. So now it's not that easy for most people, especially people that are at home right now watching and want to get into writing a book. First of all, let's talk about the story itself. Have you always known what you were going to write about, or you just knew, I'm going to write a book one day, I don't really know what it's going to be about?
No, I always had the idea. I used to play around with the name of the book on Facebook, actually. So I'm someone who, I'm like cryptic or something. Like sometimes I'll make these statuses and I know people ask like, oh, what does it mean? Yeah. So I played around with the name. At first I thought of, okay, I want to write about something that everybody faces. Like, my parents are immigrants. They migrated here from Ghana, And I was like, I want to talk about why, like, from their journey from Africa to Canada, and them just not being able to do what they initially were doing. So my dad he was actually an architect back home. And, you come to a different land and you're not the smart guy anymore. They push you back. Hey, you got to go to school. You got to do this. Yeah. So, Child of an Immigrant came about because I was like, there was a time where I was like, everybody was a nurse.
Yes.
Shout out nurses.
Shout out to nurses.
The pandemic, shout out the nurses.
But there was a time.
And I was just like, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I couldn't. The sight of a needle now, even at my big age, I start shaking and I try and talk myself out of getting So I was just like, let me talk about that. Let me talk about the struggles that, my character went through in terms of just this is not for her, and her trying to find herself. You know, she's a teenager and a lot of things happen around her. And sometimes I think that's what parents forget. Like, there's could be so many things going around in your child's life that you don't know. And you impose your wishes on them. And it's hard. But as African parents too, it's hard to talk to them. So
that's a whole different conversation.
Exactly.
To be honest. No, when I saw the book and when I read the title, I was like, wow, someone is actually writing for us. Like, it's very relatable in the sense that almost everyone I know has been an immigrant or is an immigrant in some way. And everyone just knows that we all have the same or similar struggles, but no one has actually gone into writing or put anything into writing about it. So when I saw this, I felt like a connection to, you know, someone is actually doing something for our community and bringing awareness. So which is really cool.
Yes.
People don't know that you're originally from Ghana.
Yeah. A lot of people don't know, actually.
A lot of people don't know. Do you speak any of like your traditional language?
Yes, I do. I was born here, but my mom, like I think, I don't know what it was, but she just said she's going to speak to me in Tree. So growing up, I don't know if Tree was like something that I knew how to speak first before English. So it was very weird, like a Canadian born. Yeah, and I'm like fluent in speaking it, writing it, and reading it. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. Shout out my mom, she did good.
Shout out to your mom. Now, you've already told us about the inspiration behind the book and how it came about. The book also comes with puzzles. Which is a very, very brilliant idea, in my opinion. Can you tell us a little bit more about where you got the inspiration to you know, include puzzles in the book? Yeah,
so, you know, I kind of wanted to have something for everyone. So my book, I know they say, you know, the cover can be a bit deceiving. So that's why I want people to read it. So the book, it's more so like it focuses on a teen's life, so a journey. So I would say preteens, teens, anyone can read it. And then I came with the puzzles because I was like, I want something where that can showcase for other little black girls to see, like, hey, I'm putting a puzzle and she looks like me. She has braids like me. Oh, mommy, she's a judge, she's a doctor. Like, I could be a judge, I could be a doctor. Because I feel like when you instill and implement certain things into children from young, like, the sky is not the limit.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to affirm these things, these conversations, these things with children. And I want to see my people win. I want to see my little black girls win.
That is true. And it's like you said, representation matters. I feel like a lot of young adults now, especially black people, are doing for the kids that are growing up what we wished someone would have done for us. In terms of, you know, things like representation and so forth. Now, when writing a book, it's not as easy as it sounds. It just sounds write a book. For those who are trying to start and who may not know, what were the challenges that you faced when trying to put this together?
Well, even though I said, like, it does stem from a bit of my life and anything that, like, events around me, there was times where I did have writer's block because you're supposed to have a certain amount of words per chapter. So you'll write. I wrote this whole book on my phone.
Wait,
so
what?
I will lay in bed and I'll just type. And then one day I was just like, I need to find an easier way to write this. So then I was like, oh yeah, speech to text. So I'll do speech to text and then I'll go through and I'll edit. And the thing is, I'll start typing it up and then it's like, I'll feel like, okay, I'm done with the story. And then I'll go to word count and it's like, I still have 1,000 more words. So
like writing an essay in high school.
Exactly. So then it's like you get a bit of writer's block, or, you know, I'll write like 4 chapters where the whole story flows, or and then it's just like, wait, but I didn't say this in this chapter. So it's like I have to make sure like it aligns, because I'm like, there's gonna be that one person that's gonna read it and say, hey, you said this here, but then in here it said this.
That is true.
Exactly. So I would say that was like the difficult part, is just at times thinking like, oh my gosh, this is juicy. I'm done this chapter. Now the next chapter will reveal certain things, and then I'll go and see like, oh, I need 600 more words.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you just have to keep going to be able to get over that.
Yes.
I mean, To be honest, we would have to say thank you for this because it looks amazing. Tell us a little bit about the cover art.
Okay.
Yeah, the animation.
The cover art. So, in the cover art, I have a couple of words that are crossed out. I have fear and doubt that's crossed out because I would say in my teenage years, even though I come across as very, this is what other people said.
You don't agree?
I agree. Like, I've come across very bold and outspoken, sure myself. There's a lot of fears that I had. Like, there's plans that I had in place that I stated or I wrote down for myself as a teenager that, you know, came to a time where I didn't attain those goals. And then I become fearful, like, oh my gosh, if I didn't get this done, what's going to happen? Or there was times where I doubted myself because maybe other kids in my class or something where it was like, how come you were able to get an A or understand this right away, and how come it's taking me a little bit
longer?
Or, you know, when I applied for uni and I didn't get accepted to the university I wanted to go to, I doubted myself. I was like in a dark place because I felt like my grades were good, I was good, so why didn't I get accepted to the school? And I felt, and you see, this is another thing, lack of information. You know, if someone had held my hand and told me, you don't have to go straight into university.
Yeah.
You can do college and then go to uni, do transfer credits. I wouldn't have doubted myself and felt so down. But I did, and you know what I mean? And I didn't have, like, who was I going to talk to? I do have older siblings, but they didn't grow up with me.
Yeah.
And it's like my parents could not advise me on okay, go to college for, you know, them is university and that's it.
Shout out to African parents. Wow. No, that's really, really quite a journey that you have put forward here. And even just to put it in the art and to show that you were able to overcome like fear and doubt, and what is highlighted on the book is confidence and bravery. I feel like that speaks volumes, even especially to young girls.
Yes.
Now, what message do you want people to take away from this book?
The message I feel that people should take from this book, not even one, they should take from this book is that there's many adversaries around us. Our environment shouldn't depict us. And you can do it. Don't let people talk you down. Don't let people marginalize you or put you in a box where it's like, oh, you just have to do this and that's it. No. Because if that was the case, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be sitting here.
Exactly.
You know, like my older sister, every day she wanted to do journalism. She didn't do it, but you know. So it's just the message of go after what you want. Don't. It could take you 6 years, 20 years. Just go after what you want, and just love what you do for the rest of your life. Don't wake up one day and hate yourself for not, you know, pursuing your dreams.
Exactly. And don't let anything hold you back. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Canada's #1 African barbecue, the Suya Spot. Serving and satisfying your Suya needs from multiple locations across the GTA, including Scarborough, Toronto, Woodbridge, and Mississauga. Also located in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Visit any location today or stay home and order through
DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Skip the Dishes.
For more information, check out our website at www.thesuyaspot.com or call the toll-free line at +1 866 448 7892. The Suya Spot. You built it, now use it. Vous l'avez construit, utilisez-le. Canada's #1 African.
Welcome back to your favorite show, The Discussion. I'm your host, Chelsea Okunji. Remember, this show is sponsored by Suya Spot, your #1 African barbecue. Wherever you want to get it from, you can just order online or go to the website at www.thesuyaspot.com. We're here chatting with Sandra and Ian, and we've been talking about the lovely, lovely book, Child of an Immigrant. Now, before we even get into anything else, you are also a paralegal.
Yeah.
You were also You're also the owner and founder of Embody, which
Yes.
is wine, essentially, red and white
Yes.
wine.
Yes.
How do you even juggle everything?
I'm a crazy person.
That's the short version.
I just have always been that kid. Growing up, I want to do everything,
Everything.
and I will do it. So that's I will do. I
That's
will
the
go.
spirit.
Yes, oh man. So the wine,
Yeah.
you know, you're growing older. The party life, the Hennessy is just it's
listen.
cut down.
I don't say growing older. I say growing younger. Growing younger, but you know, with age.
Yes.
It's
So
yeah.
you know, I'm just like to be a little bit sophisticated. You know, I'm someone who I love self-care.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is going to self-care with Johnny Walker?
Yeah.
So you need to self-care with some wine.
Yeah.
So I came out with Embody. And, you know, I tried a white, red, and rosé.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of white. So the white, it was like, boom. The red, I was just like, But I was biased, but I got a friend of mine that came with me. So I was like, I want to put out a wine that, hey, you can get my book. Have a glass of wine. Give the puzzles to your
That's
children.
great
and enjoy.
PR.
Oh, yes.
That is great. No, what type of wine is it? Is it dry? Is it sweet? Is it?
Oh, so the Pinot Grigio,
Yeah.
it's a bit dry.
Yeah.
The red is your everyday, it has a hint of raspberry in it. And the rosé is zero sugar, but it tastes very good. Yeah.
You see?
And it gets you there, like a glass.
It
I
gets
think
you there.
a glass is more than enough.
It's more than enough.
Yes.
Where can people find this?
So right now I am working on a website, but
Okay.
people can send me a message.
Yeah.
I do delivery and pickups for the bottles. Delivery, I do had a little extra charge because those gas prices.
Yeah. See.
I'm gonna take the bus soon.
No, I understand that. Just one more question concerning
Yes.
like all of this that you do. Did you plan to have it all released at the same time, or what came first between the book, the puzzle, and the wine?
So with the book was supposed to come first, and then it was supposed to be the wine and the puzzles. However, you know, writing a book, there is a bit of hiccups here and there.
As expected.
Oh, I almost cried.
But you pushed through.
I did cry. I did
wow.
cry. Yeah, I cried because it was just I was having a bit of delays where I don't know what was just working against this book. It was ready to go, and then
Yeah.
my book wouldn't upload on Amazon,
No.
and then all of a sudden my book, which was in English, became in Chinese writing, and it was ready to go printing, and I'm like, you guys are gonna print my so it was just
Wow.
I don't know, it was just little hiccups.
Yeah.
But it was ready, it was on Amazon, but you know, obviously like printing and stuff like that, so I got my books printed, but the wine came first, then the books came after, and then the puzzles. So honestly, these are just like technical delays, like it happens, and it's COVID, so
Yeah. But you see what the delays led to.
Yes.
And now we're celebrating.
oh yes, oh yes.
So one more thing, how do you leverage on your expertise as a paralegal, you're also a speaker, and now as an author?
I'm trying. Like I said, I'm a crazy person, but you have to know how to like divide your time. Like if I'm 9 to 5, I'll do my 9 to 5. However, like in between there, it's like I can utilize my time and do other things. But then when I come home, I also make sure I work on my brand, my gifts, my craft.
Yeah.
Because I just believe you can't work for someone for the rest of your life. From grade
I hear
8,
that.
I think I wrote that in the yearbook that I'm not gonna.
You're not going to work for someone for the rest of your life.
No, like, so I do try and divide my time and just put in the effort and the work. Sometimes, I know they say it's not healthy, but sometimes I'll sacrifice my sleep to get what I need to get done.
Well, that's just sometimes, not all the time, right?
Like, yeah.
Oh.
So sacrifice is the key word. I sacrifice. If it's I have to stay in and not go, well, there's not much to really do now.
Yeah,
but
COVID and all.
Yeah, I'll sacrifice and get it done. So an organization.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That is true. So that's for everyone watching out there. You don't have to kill your creative dreams. Even if you have a 9 to 5, you can chase, but sacrifice, like she said, and balance. Now you also do a lot of volunteer work, and you're an advocate for Black women. You're an advocate for education, for community entrepreneurship. How do you think the narrative has changed in our community, considering now that we have people like you raising awareness for these things?
Well, I believe, you will see in our community now, or not just our community, everywhere, there's a lot of businesses.
There.
But the thing that I feel like people need to understand is with businesses or anything that you're doing, do it right.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do it right, don't do it. Because then I feel like it leaves a stain when you have, okay, this is Black owned, this is Black owned, this is Black owned. But then you read comments, Black businesses have horrible customer service and it's bad. So
it is bad.
For me, I would say my dynamic is to try and prove people or naysayers wrong.
Yeah.
I won't, just because I'm African or I'm Ghanaian or I'm Black, I was raised and came up with a lot of people, and I take from a lot of people, you know what I mean, in terms of different communities. I have friends, my Jewish friends or my white friends or whoever, and I try and say, okay, how can I take from what you're doing to help what I'm trying to do, or to try and help other people in my community. Right. That's the only way we're going to grow and change these things.
That is true.
Yeah.
And have you found that the reception to what you do and how much you're putting back into the community has been great? Or do you think there is a lot more that we need to do in terms of coming together?
There's a lot that we still need to do. But in terms of community, because there's this, people want to do every man for themselves.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. If you're going to do every man for themselves, then we're never going to get anywhere. We can't say, as Black people we're this or whatever, if it's always about me. Yeah, it can be about you, but you need to help somebody else. It's so... I don't even know how to explain it. The feeling of helping someone and having them come up with you, and just seeing someone sitting beside me hey girl, you did it too. It's so lovely. So I feel we need to, community, we have a lot of work to do.
We need to support each other. Yeah. But no, definitely. That's definitely the message that we're also trying to put out there. Now, before we let you go, you have to tell us 3 things about yourself. 2 truths and a lie.
And a lie.
And a lie, yes.
Okay. 3 things about myself.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm married. I love soccer, and my favorite color is red.
So now we're going to leave the audience to choose which one is false or not, or which one is true.
Yeah.
But I also have a guess.
Yes.
So
Tell me which which are the truths and which one is the lie.
To be honest, I might think you might like soccer. It's possible. I'm trying to look at your face. If you give me anything.
No, I have a poker face.
I can see that. You're not giving me, no. You love soccer. That's true. Your favorite color might be red. This poker face is throwing me off. And you're not married.
I don't know which
Do
one
I get
is true.
anything? Yes, no?
I can't tell you because they have to guess.
But that's all the time that we have for today, and I want to say thank you so much for stopping by. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. Let everyone know how they can get your book, The Wine and the Puzzles, and how to find you on social media.
Okay, so for my book, you can follow the Instagram page, which is Child of an Immigrant 2020 on Instagram, or you can follow myself on Instagram at Sandy Anin, which is SandyAnin. For the book, the puzzle, and the wine, I do have a website that's coming out soon. So once I have that website, everybody can follow the Sandy Anin experience and purchase anything you want.
Awesome. And on that note, we'd like to say thank you. I'd like to say thank you to our viewers again for joining us on a beautiful and an amazing show. You heard Sandra on how to get a hold of all the products. Thank you for tuning in on the GBKM network. Remember that this show, I would also like to thank our sponsors. The show is sponsored by the Suya Sports. You can always pick up an order of the Suya Sports at any of the locations across GTA or even in Winnipeg, Manitoba, or you can order online through Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, or DoorDash. And thank you again. I'm Chelsea Okunji, the host of the discussion. See you next week, same time, same place.